Takže zdar všem dělníkům hokejbalu a vítejte u další nabouchané epizody z našeho studia z mistrovství světa. Tentokrát vlastně už ani nejde říct, že bychom měli speciálního hosta, protože, dámy a pánové, tohle je vrchol naší novinářské činnosti tady v Ostravě. Připravili jsme si pro vás interview s panem prezidentem Isbhf Eliem Pascuzzo a nyní tedy budeme muset provést celé interview v angličtině a poté přidáme titulky. Ty titulky budou připraveny zejména pro lidi, jako je Martin Černý, Jan Turčány a Martin Bláha. A samozřejmě i pro vás všechny ostatní, co si chcete poslechnout tohle interview a třeba angličtina není úplně z vašich nejsilnějších jazyků. A jdeme rovnou na to. So, I would like to welcome Elio Pascuzzo in our studio in Ostrava. Hi, Mr. President, how are you today?
Good. Thank you, Děkuji.
Thank you very much for accepting the invitation, and yeah.
My pleasure.
So, awesome. Welcome here in our podcast. What is the first idea that come into your mind when we say Czech Republic and ball hockey? What is the first thing?
Leader.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Something else?
Yeah, so one of the leaders of our sport, the Czech Republic, they are one of the founding nations of the ISBHF. They set the standard for high level and quality programming, for youth and adults, obviously hosting championships for the ISBHF. This is the fourth one for the world men's and women's, but they've hosted numerous championship in other categories, masters and juniors. And, where I'm from in Canada, we have a very extensive ball hockey program as well. And, big youth programs. So when I think Czech Republic and ball hockey, I think leaders of our sport.
Cool. You have mentioned that there were so many tournaments in last years. It was the juniors in Liberec and Hradec Králové, and this year in Ostrava. Do you think Czech Republic is a country that is really able to organize an event like that, a sport event? And is there something special for you that you know that when you come into Czech Republic, this is something that definitely be here?
Yes. So I've been to quite a few events since I joined the ISBHF in 2018. And whenever I find out that the Czech Republic is hosting an event, I'm very excited to come because I know that the organization will be top class. I know that they will use all the resources, lots of volunteers, very organized in terms of everything that has to happen with an event, not only on the floor, but, like off the floor is very important because the ISBHF, we govern the sport to do the events to award world champions, but that's between the boards. Mm-hmm. Everything outside the boards, fan zone, all the organization, making sure you have enough volunteers, the hosts do. And the Czech Republic, are, they are one of the best hosts of events. And they're very consistent, whether it's a junior event, men's, women's, masters in Kladno a few years ago. They bring a level of consistency to our events that helps other nations. When other nations host events, they look to how the Czech Republic hosted. And some of our best events in the history of our sport, people will look back to Pilsen, 2009, Pardubice, 2017, as some of the events that, may have been the best events that we put on and can help other nations, as they host.
You were saying that you joined ISBHF at 2018, right? So I wanna ask which one of the tournaments was the best for you, because we are talking about the bunch from Czech Republic, but we were also talking in our podcast about championships in Switzerland, in Canada. Which one was the best for you, and maybe why?
For me, so far, I would say the most enjoyable championship in terms of on the floor could have been Switzerland 2024, because we introduced, there was some great games, but the finale, Czech Republic and Canada, double overtime, we had introduced a new rule for the final, no more shootout, continuous. And it happened that it went to second overtime. In terms of, if I had to look back, my favorite, some of my favorite events, Česká Trebová junior event 2019. I had such an enjoyable time because I was by myself. I was the vice president, technical director, and George, we were in Košice. So they did the tournament, and then George had to go back to Canada. So I went to be the ISBHF representative, and that was a fun tournament. It was Česká Trebová, and Lito Michil was like, they had the women part. Liberec was a great tournament because it was our first junior tournament. We were coming back after the pandemic, and we did it 10 days. First tournament, 5 days, I believe U23, U16,
And U20.
yeah, and then second portion was U18 and the women. So that that was a good time. But my character and my personality, I will enjoy every tournament that I'm at, and you must, because if you don't enjoy the journey, then you should be doing something else. And so for me, but so some of those are highlights. They're different events because when I say the final in Isbhf 2 years ago, that was the game. Then I look at Liberec, a celebration of 10 days of ball hockey with 5 junior categories. So different in terms of what I can pinpoint. I've been around a long time. I don't know if you guys know, 1975.
Oh, wow.
So I've seen a lot of ball hockey, and the events like this is a great event, and the final chapter has yet to be written because we still have a few days left. So you may be asking me this question next year, and who knows what comes out of this weekend here.
Yeah, that's completely true. I wanna ask if the game in Isbhf was the Czechs versus Canada in the final was the best game you have ever seen in
Yes.
ball hockey. Okay, that was really quick. And also we are talking, I think every time about fans and about the atmosphere at the rink in Czech Extra League and also here at the tournament. And I want to ask you which of the tournaments was best in the point of view of fans and also the atmosphere.
So like that I've attended since I joined the ISBHF. One of the events I was lucky to be at was 2019 Košice World Championship, the final, Finland versus Sweden. I'm sorry, Finland versus Slovakia. There was like almost 10,000 fans in that building, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. I know there has been other games. I wasn't in Pardubice, but that atmosphere was incredible. Pilsen 2009 had some amazing atmosphere with lots of fans. But as far as for me, like if I had to say one game which struck me that I came to was that Saturday night in Košice when there were the lineup outside. There was 3 lines for tickets, and it went all the way like around. And I said to myself, this is ball hockey. Lineups, ball hockey, right? So I ran inside, and George, George Gortzos, he's the president before me. I said, George, you got to come outside. You got to come and check this out. He goes, what? I go, just come. He walked outside. I go, look at these lineups for ball hockey, which was incredible. That night was something else. I kept a video and things like that. So, I'm hoping that depending on how things go this weekend, the final here can be something very exciting with a lot of fans come. Because, when you have a lot of fans, the atmosphere obviously goes up. But keep in mind, when the Czechs host or the Czechs bring their fans, and, even Slovensko, but, David Tor, my executive director, who we've become good friends over the years, so many times we would be in the office and I'm like, Czeshi. And then I would just do this and he would be over there. So their chants, and I think it's Czeshi do toho, like,
Oh,
right.
wow, exactly.
Yeah. So that creates an atmosphere, and with the more people, obviously louder, exciting, and the players feed off it. So it's cool.
Yeah, actually, one of our questions prepared was also if there is something from Czech language.
Yeah, so I know like ahoy, like daquim, and then there's gratului.
Oh, wow.
For congratulations. I try, to get the basics on my phone. I have some, like some, for example, is it desht? When we were in Kladno, we were outside, so I said to David, desht.
Oh, wow. That's
And
perfect.
Catastrophe.
Catastrophe is
when,
also a good one.
When there's problems, the teams are complaining, the referee, the player yell, the coach, catastrophe. And then a lot of times people come up to me in the past. They say, not now it's Mr. President, but before I was Vice President, Technical Director. So they go, can I speak with you? Can I speak with you? And they whether it's the Czechs, Slovaks, Canadians, or whatever, we don't feel that the penalty was right. They complain, and I look and I say, zarideme. Is that right? Zarideme, we will fix.
Zařídíme. Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, that's perfect. I was hoping for some kind of words as like, as you told us, like ahoy, dobrý den.
Yeah, I think hodně šťastný is good luck.
Yeah, hodně štěstí.
Yeah,
wow.
Hodně štěstí. Yeah, I got a few, but dobré ráno, dobré den, and dobré večere is good.
Yeah, wow.
And dobré noc.
Oh, wow, perfect.
See you later. Good night.
I mean, that's the whole list. Wow, perfect.
Yeah. So sometimes, when the team, unfortunately, the team that doesn't win, they, are eliminated, from the, so it's dobré noc.
So, so many Czech words. Maybe it's from some kind of restaurant or pub. Where have you been? What about Czech beer and you?
Oh, well, like as a Canadian, we have, my parents are from Italy. They were born in Italy, but I was born in Canada. And, Canadian beer is, very good, but Czech beer is top notch.
Okay.
It's like, I every time I come here in Canada, I'm very picky with my beer. I want imported, some, but when I come here, just give me what you got. Just pour what you got.
Yeah. Also, we are always talking about the culture and about like chemistry about the in the teams. For example, I talked with some player from USA yesterday, and he told me that they do like little events when they come to Czech Republic. Is there something you are looking for in Czech Republic, like some kind of community meeting with, I don't know, Isbhf and guys from here, for example? Do you drink beer or something?
Yeah, we do. There's a lot of camaraderie, over the years. Like last year in Hradec Králové, we there was a while the tournament was going on, it was a fair. Like they had a 1 week. I don't know what it was called, but so every night, the staff and the volunteers, we walk down, and liberets, we go for the pub, for the beer. Yesterday we had little reunion because we had a visitor come in to help this week, Roman Novak from Beirut, who was on the ISBHF board of directors. So him, George, me, and David used to, after the end of the day, we used to go, to have beer together. So last night we had like a little reunion. We went down to there was a street in Ostrava. It's a one street with all the pubs.
Yeah, Stodoni.
Yes. So yeah, that's very important to have. The staff is very important to me. The volunteers are very important to me. In the speech on Saturday, I thank the volunteers. Because without volunteers, in staff, there is no event. There can't be.
Cool. Okay, so that's about your program during the night. And what about your typical day here at the tournament during the day, like when you are here in the Ostrava Arena? How does your day like looks like? It is more about some kind of networking with the other organizers, or it is and putting the community together, or what is the typical day here
So
for you?
when I was technical director, vice president, I was always like, my attitude was first one in, last one out. As president, I tried to get here early, but my duties, I have someone that is the technical director. There is the executive director, David, Andy, event managers, Alish, Kuba, all. So my duties during the day, my focus is to, communicate, walk around, say hi to people, be there to answer some, people's questions. I like to try to see every team during the, walk through. I try to time my walks so I can, maybe I run into the team, much more before their game, not when, just before the game, they're trying to get, mentally prepared. George, we used to joke around, when George was president and I was the vice president and representative of Canada, I used to say, George, it's your job is to hug people and kiss the babies. You know what I mean? Like, okay. I have to make sure that everything is run properly, but there's people in place, and you must have confidence in everybody to do their job and oversee it, but you can't control everything. Okay. And so that my typical day, I get up, at the hotel, do a little exercising, and then breakfast, and then come over as early as I can get here to, spend the day. And then I'm here all day. I'll try to watch as much hockey as I can, but sometimes I have meetings. Some people, certain days want to meet me. Individuals may say, hey, can we do a podcast? So, giving out the medals. Earlier today, I did a filming with the Germany team. They brought a filmmaker. They're doing a documentary. Cool. Wow. Because they want to present it there and maybe to the government or whatever. So I did an interview for them. So that's the kind of things I, try to, make sure I'm on top of. As far as all the programming, the games, organizing, the game sheets, all that, we have great volunteers.
Cool. So same as you, there are so many people like the volunteers that come here to the stadium in the morning and work until the evening. They are necessary for this tournament and to organize it. Do you have some message for them, for all of the volunteers? There are so many of them. Do you have something for them?
Of course. Like I said at my opening speech, thank you. What you do is not unnoticed by myself, like on behalf of the ISBHF. I love the volunteers. They are the engine, that helps the events be great. And for me, we have some great, volunteers. Obviously, I get to know some of them. One particular lady that's here, she has the Ball Hockey Ostrava, Eva. Her name is Eva. She's working so hard. Very impressive, how hard they work. And then over the years, I've met some volunteers that have come, back. Like one volunteer, I gave the nickname Primator McDavid. So I still don't know his first name, but you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. But the timekeeper, they do the clock. Jaromir, the guy that's on with your press conference, he looks like Jaromir Jagr.
Oh yeah.
So I met him that last year, and I took a photo, and I sent the photo back home, and I told my friends, I said, hey guys, I'm with Jaromir Jagr's nephew. And they said, really? So I called him Jaromir.
Yeah, that's perfect because he's one of us actually. He does the podcast.
He was downstairs, like, right. So I'm the type of guy that I like to have a personal relationship face to face. I think if you are face to face and get to really know the people, and nobody's perfect. Even the volunteers, the referees, the teams, maybe bad passes. I'm not perfect, But as a family, you can get close to perfection. You never get there, but you can get close if you all working hard, but you genuinely love each other and want the best for each other. And for the message I have for the volunteers is obviously thank you. Without you, there's no event, and there's a lot of important people here. Lots, coaches, great players, referees, a lot of my staff. But for me, the most important people here are the volunteers.
Wow, perfect message. I gotta tell that a lot of volunteers, when they are, for example, keeping an eye on the doors, for example, they are watching our podcast. So this is perfect because they will for sure watch it. And also the third one of us, Todor, he is right now, Jaromir.
Jaromir, yes.
Right now he is at the game for sure. He's tracking time for sure. So yeah, he is volunteer also. So
I say hi to all the volunteers, like all the time, all day. Even if I saw you 50 times during the day, you're getting either a fist pump or a hello. I don't care. I have the time to do it, and I want to do it, so I will do it.
What about one huge name of this tournament? It is the Czech #1 fan, Marvin. Do you know him?
I love him. The drummer, yes.
The drummer?
Yep. So he's kind of my inspiration when, sometimes Jashi. So in Isbhf, I went to say hi to him in after the game. So we took a photo.
Yes.
And then last year I saw him again. We did photo.
And what about this year?
We did photo the other day outside. So and I found out his son is on the team.
Yeah,
Right.
he's playing well.
Yeah. So those kind of fans, we don't have a lot of them, like ice hockey or football and other sports. But the ones we do have, they're precious to me. And that individual loves the sport with his heart, and you can tell. And so I love seeing him when I see him. Hopefully every year I get to see him, and then we do the annual photo.
Yeah, we agree that he's an inspiration because he's also kind of an ambassador of our podcast because we are called the construction workers of ball hockey.
Okay.
So, yeah, we are not like
He's the #1.
yeah, he's the #1 basically because he does a lot of work. Yeah, and also you say that perhaps we see him every year. That says that his son has to play great, right?
But but I believe was his son on the Isbhf team?
Yeah,
The
he
Isbhf team.
was.
Okay, but who was on the Hradec? Son on the U23.
Yeah.
So his son made the senior team before, and then he made the U23
Yep.
team, and that's impressive.
He's good. He's having a good tournament. But
Yeah.
it's cool that
So he's only
Marvin-
24 right now, or like probably.
No, he's younger.
21.
Wow.
21. You have to
That's-
take a photo also with him.
I want to. Yeah, he's got my favorite number 8, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's cool that the fan, Marvin, his father, he doesn't really care if his son is playing. He goes
That's
to,
what my point is.
Yeah, he goes to cheer for the Czech team, even if it's the women's team. So
Or the
that's so cool that
U16.
yeah, or the U16.
Yeah,
So,
that's my point. Like,
he's
yeah.
really the #1 of.
I think he's
Czech ball
#1 fan.
hockey. Definitely.
Yeah, he's. I have him on Facebook. Like, he sends me the message every year. Look forward to seeing you, and
Yeah,
I love him.
He's perfect. At the start of the podcast, I told to the fans that we will for sure add subtitles because of him, because he doesn't really speak English. But yeah, it's for him because he will watch it for sure. Like when we gonna put it on YouTube, he gonna be the first fan to watch it. So.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and also my point was that he actually, or me, I play with his son in the team, in the local team, and so he is #1 fan of our team also.
Is he
Right.
from Pardubice?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
from Pardubice, exactly. And yeah, that's the thing that David told us earlier, that he basically is on the rink like the whole weekend. It doesn't matter who plays, little kids or us as a grown-ups or juniors. He's there because he just like walks around and he's like, yeah, they need me, they want me,
Yeah.
they just I want to give to them and they give to me, and it's like perfect
Yes.
scenario, right?
Yeah. He wants to provide them with, the support, and they return it because he enjoys it to do it, right? So
Respect to him, but he's not the only one. There are so many.
yeah,
So
tons.
But yeah, really respect to him. About the sport, like ball hockey, who is your number one team here in Ostrava, and why it's Czech Republic?
So since when I became the president, even when I joined the ISBHF, I never say, "Oh, this is my favorite team," but I always have, in like an affinity, like a like, for obviously for the Czech Republic team, both, men and women. The experience I've had here, meeting people. Obviously, I met David in 2018, David Tor, and Roman Novak, and we spent a lot of time together. So early on, there's some friendships that were made, and I feel very comfortable in this country. Like, in other words, when I come here, I look forward to it, but it's like I'm home. You know what I mean? Like, and same with, like, when I go to Slovakia, England, obviously I go visit my relatives in Italy, but for some reason, the Czech Republic, I've met so many people and been to so many, different areas that it's very close to my heart. As for a favorite team, as president, I'm not allowed, to say, who my favorite team is. I will say this though, I want all the players, all the teams to play to the best of their ability. And obviously, the best team will win. But I would always want the best team to win because they played great, not because the team that didn't win played poorly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I want the teams to play up to their potential. And, being here in Ostrava, the men's and women's team of Czech Republic, they have a great opportunity. The men can end 15 years since the last gold. And I believe the women, they won in 2017,
Yeah.
Pardubice.
Yeah.
And that's 9 years, right? So, there's a lot of history potentially to be made. And whoever wins must play the best, must, do the proper things like resting and, like George says, drink a lot of water. And I just want the team that wins to win because they were great, not win because the other team back home we say stunk or was no good. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah. It's really nice to hear that. So also we wanted actually to ask you about the favorite player, but we know that your answer depends on that you are the president. We were also talking with the president of Czech Federation, right? And he had the same answer basically. So I want to ask, is there any player you like to watch?
Yeah. 92 on I don't need to mention his name. Čeka is very nice, good to watch. Slovakia, number 11, is even in Isbhf, love to watch them. Canada, number 19, Anderson. Each team I have, a player. 54 for Finland, Vitanen. So it goes on, with, Switzerland, it's Fairclough. I think he's 34. There's certain players that, get your attention. USA, their coach now, I played with him, years ago. And I, watched that team, and, they got some good players, some good young players, Batista, things like, so I have, as far as favorites, the Czechs actually have a couple of, like that number 34 this year.
Kucharczyk.
Yeah, big boy.
Big boy.
Yeah, and strong and good around the net.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he could be a difference maker, in a final, because they
He's a
will,
game changer.
yeah, they will focus on Cheka. They'll do that, but that guy there, I could see him, if they make the final, I could see him scoring 1 or 2 in the final because the focus will be so much on 92. So
I think that's the strong side of the Czech team, that they have more game changers than just Čeka. like Czechia is number one, of course. He's I
But
think
they
the
have
best
a
player.
lot. They have a lot of game
Yeah,
changers.
but they have so many others. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's maybe like one last question about ball hockey as a sport, what is your dream about ball hockey in the future? For example, in 5 years.
If I would say in 5 years, my dream is to keep bringing new nations here, increase the junior programming.
Can I ask you which
Yeah.
nations, for example?
So this year here, like Austria and Germany came back. Obviously, India, returned. I would love to see a nation like Poland have ball hockey team. Hungary, they had team in the juniors, but in men's and women's. Romania, Latvia. Going further where Finland is, it's very hard with Sweden because they have big floorball. But my goal, if you're asking me what my focus is, and my goal is more countries to attend the events, more youth programming, so that we could have more junior. Hungary had the junior teams, so that would be my dream. People will say, "Oh, is your dream to get into the Olympics?" It's very long. That's a long.
But it's a dream.
It's always a dream. It will always be a dream. But right for now, next year we have the World Championships again in Slovakia, and our focus is to try to get 2 to 3 more to come. And then once you get them, like Germany comes, now it's up to ISBHF, myself, to help them. Say, hey, do you need any help to start the kids?
Mm-hmm.
And give, because I have a lot of resources back home. I have big programs for youth, adults back home, lots of members. So I have some resources that maybe I can assist them with, rules, programs, learn to play, things like that. So 5 years, I would say maybe 8 to 10 more nations come up.
Wow, that would be perfect. I have also this same question about the sport as a play, because we are always talking about the attractivity of the sport. For example, in the TV, when it's streamed in national television, not many people watch it, right? And we are kind of asking our guest what would he do, what would he does to make it better. Yeah. The attractivity of the sport, because it's really hard. We play basically we play the same sport as hockey is, but so there is not a lot of room to make it like more attractive. But maybe there is something.
Well, back home, Canada being a big ice hockey country, I've always found it very hard because I like to go see the hockey back home, Maple Leafs, and I go to the stadium to watch live. Because to watch on TV our sport, whether it's ball hockey or ice hockey, it's very hard to track the puck and and the ball. And I've always thought is maybe if the puck like was a different color,
Mhm.
shinier, like so that when you see it on TV it glares. Because when you watch soccer you could see the ball, it's bigger. Football, and back home we have football with the American football. And I always found that our sport, it's hard to transition. When you watch it on TV, you see the players, but that puck or the for ice hockey and the ball for ball hockey is very small.
Mm.
And I would love to see something be developed where you can really see it and follow the play. You know what I mean? Like so. In terms of getting more people to watch the sport, you need a couple of things to happen. In the country that you're televising, you need that home team to win. You need them to be in the final, and do well, and beat an opponent that a lot of people can be familiar with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So that's one component that would help the TV. But I've always found watching ice hockey back home, even ball hockey, tracking that ball or puck, is very difficult. And fluorescent or whatever type of, to see it.
Mhm.
I don't know how you guys feel, but it's hard to track.
Yeah, that's a really great point, because as you know, as our fans know, the ball hockey is also played outside when it's night. Yeah, we train, for example, in the night, and it's more harder than it looks, because yeah, the ball is orange, but that's not everything. So yeah, exactly, that's the point.
Yeah, for TV, as far as playing and being there live, like when we're watching the game, it's easy for me, here. But when I watch it on TV, I'm really focused on where, that how that ball moves and where is it, and we'll see. But one step at a time. I think if you're getting on national television, you have to have some sort of success that people can resonate with, so that the next time you're on TV, they want to watch it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you very much for
No,
your time.
thank you. This was an honor for me to do. And
That was honor for us, for sure.
And to all your podcast fans, thank you for supporting our sport. We love you. Pass the word. Tell everybody it's the best sport. It's affordable, and it's hockey that anybody can play. I have a company back home. It's called Anyone Can Play Hockey, and that's
Cool.
true. It's so true.
That's true. That's true. So, also from me, thank you so much. It was a pleasure for us, and hope to see you in the pub. And
For sure, for sure.
Enjoy it here in Ostrava, and thank you so much.
We will see you in the hallways.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. So, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That's it.
That's it. Tak děkujeme.
Ciao.